Bless everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to a brand new weekly reading. And this is also a full moon in Libra reading for the full moon tonight. So welcome back. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. Let me know how all of you are doing. Let me know if you can hear me and see me well. I just want to double check audio just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's a good to go situation. But let me know how you're feeling today. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Today is a really powerful day, like I said, because it is the full moon in Libra. So we are going to cover the energy of that even deeper today. And we're also going to cover all of the energy of this week coming up. So we are also entering a brand new month this week as well. So we are entering the month of April, the fourth month of 2021. And this is a powerful energy. We just had the spring equinox last week. Now we are setting into the energy of April this week. And we have a really beautiful full moon tonight. So there's lots to talk about. Let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of a review of the cards from last week. So at the beginning of the week last week, we had the Just Ask card. Now, this was really inviting us to ask for what we want and to really believe that when we ask specifically for what we desire, we will receive it. Then in the middle of the week, we got the Retreat card, which was all about going inward and allowing yourself to take a step back, be the observer of your situation, and find some wisdom from that perspective. Then at the end of the week, we had the intention card, which was beautiful to help us really set intentions for the weekend, which we are in now. And it is so on point because we have that full moon in Libra tonight. So definitely important for us to set intentions today. And then for the actual full moon in Libra, I did pull a card last week just as a nice prep and preface for tonight. And it was the 10 of Air card, okay? 10 of Air is all about communication and alignment with your freedom, your ability to express yourself fully, your ability to feel completely aligned to that lifted, expressive essence of yourself. And so we're going to be feeling a lot of that this week as well. And we're going to dive deeper into the messages of the Libra full moon in just a little bit at the end of this reading. But let's go ahead and go right into the spirit messages of this week because there's lots to cover, like I said. Today we are covering March 28th, which is tonight, all the way until April 4th, 2021, next Sunday, where we will meet again for another weekly reading. And so this energy of this week, what I was really getting is that there's a lot of potential for connection and a lot of potential for realization this week, okay? Now, the essence of this week has a lot of energy. There are a lot of moving parts, and we want to really address all of them so that we can get a really nice read and a really good feel for what we are going to be navigating through this week, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk about is the energy of the month transition. Okay, we're moving from the Lady of the Stars card, which was our March card, all about cosmic connection, which is why I'm wearing my constellation outfit today. And so we're moving from that energy into the energy of renewal. Renewal is the card that I pulled for the annual card reading at the beginning of the year for the month of April, okay? So we're moving from that cosmic energy that we activated in March all the way into this essence of renewal. And that cosmic energy is going to help us feel renewed. And it makes so much sense that we would pull the renewal card for April because we also just had the spring equinox last week, which is all about resurrection and rebirth and fresh starts, okay? So this is a really great time for us to start to feel into the ways in which we have become renewed, the ways in which we have really stepped into a new phase in our life, a new environment, a new role in our life, a new statement of ourselves or expression of ourselves. And we want to honor that renewal, okay? And we want to honor the ways in which our intuition and our connection to our spirituality and our connection to our multidimensional experience is also involved in that, okay? We want to really honor that. So this is a beautiful time for us to just relish in the essence of new energy, newness, bright, emerging essence, okay? So I want you to reflect on that this week and start to let that part of yourself shine through. Let the newest parts of you really start to express themselves more and start to become more familiar with them, okay? So let's go ahead and go into the actual messages of this week. Now, this week, like I said, there are a lot of moving parts, so I'm going to do my best to explain it all. And the first thing that I was picking up on for this week is this energy of judgment, okay? There's an energy of judgment that's really heavy on the week. And that's because we are in this Libra full moon tonight, so it is an energy of tipping the scales and judging right and wrong, which is very much a Libra energy. But we're also noticing that this essence of judgment is going to kind of seep into everything in our life this week. So it's going to be expressing itself in judgment towards ourselves. Maybe you tend to be a perfectionist and you get a little hard on yourself. So you're going to notice how that judgment might amplify, or how it just kind of surfaces more often to show you how to fine tune that. Because when you start to see all this judgment of self happen and you start to go down those paths of negative self-talk, or, that spiraling of negative thoughts, that's not going to take you anywhere but down. Okay. And so the reason why the energy of judgment is showing up this week is to highlight areas where we are most judgmental and where we need to cut that back, pull that back, and balance that out, okay? So if it's judgment towards yourself and you're seeing that a lot and you're feeling that a lot, make sure you don't keep spiraling in that energy. Instead, recognize, oh, this is that judgment energy Rissa was talking about, and this is my chance to notice that it's happening and start to pull the plug on that, start to clear that energy and stop those habits from continuing, because they're not going to lead you anywhere positive, okay? Now, the same thing goes for judgment of others. You may also notice that your judgment of others amplifies, and you start to notice how that is expressed in your life. Maybe you have a specific person you tend to judge more often than most. Maybe there's a specific situation or group of people you judge often than most. Especially in this time in our history, judgment is just being thrown around in every way. We've got people judging each other based on their opinions on the vaccine, based on their opinions on COVID, based on their opinions on politics, based on their opinions on spirituality and religion, right? We're seeing so much judgment being placed on each other. And the best thing to do in these moments when we are being shown where judgment is out of balance is to balance it, right? And how do we balance judgment? We balance it with love. We find ways to lead with love and lead with compassion and lead with this understanding of who everyone is and who we are, and how we're all really working towards the same thing, and how we're all wanting the same things, and how there isn't really as much separatism as we may think in those moments of judgment, okay? Does this make sense? So let me know if you have questions on this, because this is super important. Now, in regards to judgment, we are also recognizing in our history and on an energetic level, we are kind of facing this energy of Judgment Days, okay, the Judgment Days. And so this is something that you may find a lot of religious leaders speaking about and a lot of spiritual leaders speaking about, this energy of the end of days or Judgment Day upon us, okay? And what they're really speaking about is this energy of deep choice, this deep choice that we all have to make on who we align to be. Are we aligning with our shadow or with our light? Have we aligned more with our shadow than with our light most of our life, or vice versa? And how is that needing to be shown and recalibrated if it's in a direction that is not serving us, okay? So notice how the ways in which your essence of karma is also expressing itself. And notice how that's showing up in the mass collective, okay? We're also noticing, like I was talking about with judgment of others and, everybody kind of judging each other for different things. We're also seeing this in such a drastic way where we're noticing very extreme versions of this, where people are literally trying to play God. We're seeing this in the shootings in Atlanta, where this guy was very religious and had a very big issue with his shadow, and he was, it exploded in this violent act, right? This interpersonal conflict within himself expressed itself outward in a violent act of judgment against others, right? Same thing we're seeing So many shootings, so much violence. We're seeing also a lot of violence in different countries as well. This energy of people playing God, people deciding who should live and who should die, who's better, who's not, whose life is worthy and who's not. And this is a really dangerous energy to be in. And it's concerning, but it's also something that we have to understand has to happen, okay? It has to happen because it's a calibration of the extreme energies that we've been experiencing as a collective for eons of time. The incredibly dense and heavy, violent, aggressive, overpowering energies that we've seen in our human history for so long, they are being expressed in very, very, very extreme ways right now because they're dying. These kind of principles, these kind of pillars of power that have been the staples of our society for so long are starting to crumble. And the last chance they have at staying strong in that energy and vibration is to just give it all they've got to stay alive, right? And so if you think about the actual energy of violence and chaos and destruction and overpowering energy and domination, that energy is kind of like a beast, right? If you just think about that energy as an entity, and that energy is dying, it's crumbling, and it's doing its best to stay alive by infecting as many people as it can through fear and through threat and through, shadow energy and separatism. And so we're seeing that beast really showing up, but it is dying because it has no choice to. There's just too much light, too much awareness, too much consciousness that has evolved over the last 10, 20 years even, that is absolutely stronger than that energy, okay? And so that's what we need to remember. And we also need to remember that that energy, that beast of an energy, is also an energy that can infect us at any time, and often does at different parts of the day, different parts of the week. So our own way of doing our part is to stay in the positive vibration of love and to make sure that we don't let that energy win over love, the love in our heart, the love in our spirit, the love in our experience, okay? So lead with love to prevent any of those extremes of judgment or extremes of aggression or domination or violence. Lead with love to not let any of that win, okay? Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if this makes sense. Super excited to see all of you. So nice to have all of you join. Nikki's here, Maria's here, Houston's here, All Connected's here, Audrey's here, Willpower's here, Jasmine's here, Follow Arrow, Holy Scorpio. Love it, love it, love it. Does that beast energy show up in nightmares? It can, Jasmine, it can. Yeah, absolutely. We can see a version of that entity in dreams and visions. We can feel it around us. This is the energy that many religious people call, the beast, or the spirit of the beast, or, the energy of that. And the mark of the beast, right, is that energy infecting other people. And you can see the rage in people's eyes. You can see the torment in their minds. You can see that they're not all there, right? And that they're kind of consumed by this energy. And it's not to confuse this with a sense of possession or, demon possession or anything like that, though that is the extreme labeling of that. Okay, so just being aware of what, how that looks like, how that looks for everybody. Everybody's got a different representation of what that looks like, but essentially I'm talking about it from an energetic level. Okay, so get right with your spirit. Get right with your spirit. That's how we resist that energy of the beast. That's how we, stay protected in our light and in our love, is by getting right with our spirit, getting right with our intuition, diving deeper into learning how to develop it, diving deeper into learning how to read energy and how to use it as the survival skill that it is, and diving deeper into understanding ourselves and all the spectrum that we are, from our shadow to our light, so that we can really make sure that we cleanse ourselves of those extreme parts of that beast energy, right? Now, the next message, because I don't want to go into this too much, I could talk about this forever, and I may do a whole segment on this on my OnlyFans if you guys want me to, because I'm definitely down to have a deeper conversation about this. But let me know if you're ready for it, because not everybody's ready to have those kind of conversations. So if you are, I'll definitely put something together on my OnlyFans for you guys. All right, so moving on, pushing past old limitations is another energy of this week that we want to be aware of. It's a super good thing to notice for this full moon tonight is what are the limitations that are represented from our past that are still affecting us in our present and that we don't want to bring into our future, right? So push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's a really great way to push yourself outside of the limits that you've set for yourself. If you notice that you've gotten comfortable in a certain phase in your life, even though you're not necessarily happy at that level of growth, you want more for yourself, then push yourself out of the comfort zone to achieve that new level of growth. You're not going to achieve a new level of growth by being comfortable, okay? That means being comfortable financially, being comfortable spiritually, being comfortable emotionally, being comfortable physically. It's not going to produce a really big quantum leap of growth if you're comfortable in those areas, okay? It's when you start to get uncomfortable in those areas that you know that there's a lot of opportunity for growth here and that you are stepping into a really amazing phase where you get to create and make some powerful things happen, okay? Make some miracles happen. But you've got to use that manifesting power. You've got to use your intuition. And you've got to use your faith, okay? Faith over fear. Remember, that is the theme for this year. And it's such a powerful one that we have to remember because it's going to keep coming up. And if we can step into faith over fear, we are going to grow exponentially. I promise you. I have stepped into fear many times in my life and I've seen the negative effects of it. I've seen how it can kill your spirit by stepping into fear over faith and by choosing that that's more powerful. It can truly, truly kill your spirit. And it wasn't until I started choosing faith over fear that I started having the abundance that I have, that I started to step into my purpose that I'm living right now, that I started to manifest the relationships and the experiences and the energy and support that I've wanted and needed in my life, okay? And the healing that got me to receive it, okay? So faith over fear is a serious, serious thing. And I wouldn't be telling you that if I hadn't experienced myself. And I also am here to say it's way easier said than done, but it is doable and it is worth it, okay? So if there's any decisions that you've been having that are kind of more fearfully based and you're trying to figure out what to do, choose faith over fear, okay? If you're stuck between a decision, choose faith over fear and see what happens. And this is a level up. This is a level up we've been talking about. So if you want to level up, that's how you do it, okay? Now, the next energy message of this week is the creative energy that is heightened right now, okay? We have a lot of creative energy and flow available to us, but it's important not to let your mind get in the way, okay? Because the mind does want to try to control the essence of creativity and flow. Sometimes our imagination can really wander and expand, and our mind tries to pull it back in by saying, oh, that's not possible, or that's not logical, or that's not going to work, or what about this part? What about this part? And don't let your mind do that, okay? Let your imagination expand. Let yourself just completely just get lit up by the opportunity to create whatever you've been inspired to create, even if that's, just a cool painted picture or a beautiful poem or a beautiful photo that you took. Just let yourself create, let yourself enjoy that energy because it's available to us. And the logic versus intuition can really become an issue if the logic is winning over your intuition and creativity, okay? So challenge yourself to be as more abstract and more free-flowing in your creative flow, and you will see some really cool things come from that. Now, we are also, like I said, in that energy of renewal this month for April, and a part of renewal is also recovering what was lost. And we recover what was lost by recognizing what voids we still feel in our spirit that we need to fill with healthy relationships, healthy characteristics and skills, healthy perspectives and emotions, okay? So we want to do a little scan of our spirit, maybe a body scan in meditation or something of the like. And we want to notice where we feel empty, where we feel void, where we feel lost. And we want to start to recognize why that feeling is there. When did it start? What experience maybe triggered it? And why have we been stuck there? And then start to brainstorm and even research ways that you can fill this void with positive and healthy things. So an example could be this energy of feeling empty, empty and not having the support that you maybe want in your life, right? And maybe that started when you lost your parents at a younger age, okay? And that void has always been there because you've never really felt supported, if you never really felt somebody love you unconditionally, okay? And so you feel this void in your heart or in your body, okay? And when you recognize that void, the first thing to do is say, okay, it's there. I know why it's there and I know why it's still there. And then start to tell yourself, because it's true, that you have the power to change it. You have the power to fill that void. And then, like I said, a healthy way to fill that void is what you want. And so a healthy way to fill that void of feeling empty and not having support or love in the areas you want is to create that love within yourself, to give yourself unconditional love, to find ways to show yourself that you are supporting yourself, to reinforce that reminder of your support of yourself, and to continue to do that in the ways that you need it so that you can continue to fill that void. Okay, does that make sense? So I like to give you examples so that it can be really easily digested and easily applied in your own personal life. All right, everyone. So the next spirit message is about confusion in the world. Okay, confusion in the world surrounding God, source, spirituality, religion. This is we're still in a belief war. We're still in a spiritual war. So I want you to remember that, because we are going to continue seeing more duality in regards to people's understanding of spirituality and religion, especially when it comes to understanding what we do here in regards to pulling cards and meditating and having share circles with the moon. Things like that are not very understood by certain religions or certain religious people and ideologies. And that confusion is going to continue being amplified because spirituality is really becoming much more popular. People are really adopting more of the spiritualist perspective over the religious perspective. And because of that, we're going to start to see more of that separation of opinion in that. So keep in mind, if you start to see more judgment from friends, family members, people who don't understand what you do or what you're into, know that that's just a part of the confusion that they're facing because they just don't understand it. And when things are brought to people's attention that they don't understand, a lot of times judgment is the first thing that they do, right? Just because it scares them or it freaks them out or they just feel like that's their go-to. So have compassion, lead with love, do your best to educate instead of defend yourself or attack or judge, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to lead with love. So just remember, we're still in the spiritual war, and it's a war that us as light workers are not meant to continue fighting the war in regards of enforcing that separation. Instead, we're really meant to find ways to nullify the war by finding ways we can all come together and finding ways that we can all step into a place of love and compassion and compromise with one another. Okay, so we're going to see some of this start to show up this week as well. Like I said, there's lots of moving parts here with all this renewal energy and things kind of starting up again for the rest of the year energetically. Now, a couple of other things I want to mention that's going on in the world in regards to just intense shifts in Mother Earth and the seasons and all sorts of things. So there's volcanoes and earthquakes happening right now in Iceland. There's been over 18,000 earthquakes over there, with this kind of suspense in regards to their volcano out there that is very big, potentially erupting. Not too crazy of concern in regards to danger of civilians, but definitely something to pay attention to, with Mother Earth really starting to shake up even more. Since last year, this last year, 2020, and now even into 2021, we've had more earthquakes and volcanoes ever in history that we've documented. So we're seeing the rise of that kind of trembling of the earth and the energy of the tectonic plates and the core of Mother Earth starting to bubble more. So we want to pay attention to that, because that means that there's big change happening. And even though it may be happening in a subtle way, gradually, this all could definitely create a big shift at some point. Then we also have floods in Australia, where spiders and mice and snakes are literally like coming up into people's houses and crawling on their houses and crawling all over them, trying to escape the floods. So lots of interesting things there. We always want to pay attention to the way the animals react to the natural things that happen on Earth, because, you know, flooding in Australia and earthquakes and volcanoes, those are natural things that happen. But we also want to recognize how the animals and plants may react differently than usual, because that's a sign that this is not the same as every other time this has happened. Okay, so we want to pay attention to that. And this is the first time that people in Australia have seen such big swarms of mice and insects and snakes trying to escape the flooding, which is very interesting because the flooding happens every year. So, you know, of course, the insects and the nature life will expect this. But why are they freaking out so much about this one, right? So we want to pay attention to this. This is how we read energy. We also read, you know, nature and life force. We also see some sandstorms, yellow dust in China. If you've read the book of Revelation, you know there's these kind of things about red dust. And also if you've read any of Edgar Cayce's stuff or any of Nostradamus stuff, there's a lot of speculation about red dust. So we're seeing yellow dust sandstorms in China, which is interesting. And then we also have the cicadas coming back to the Midwest and East Coast pretty soon here. It's going to be a really big swarm of them this time, after 20 years of them laying dormant, or I think 17 years of them laying dormant. So we're also going to notice those. Okay, so lots of really crazy, like, planetary shifts happening as well with wildlife and Mother Earth. So just pay attention to that, because the way those things shift are also the ways we are going to experience shifts as a collective. So we really want to notice that stuff, okay? Yes, good to see everybody. Hi, Teeny. Hi, Leslie. Okay, so the last message I have for you before we get into the full moon in Libra is the reminder that you are a sovereign being, okay? Now, because there's so much energy of judgment floating around this week, I really wanted to take some time to remind all of us as light beings that we are all sovereign beings. Everybody on the planet is a sovereign being, and I'm here to remind you of it as well, because with all of those judgments, there's going to be pressures to conform, pressures to change, pressures to be something that you're not, pressures to do something that you don't feel aligned to do. And the biggest thing to remember in those moments is that you are a sovereign being and you should trust your intuition on what decisions to make. Really focus on, you know, leading with love, leading with your heart, and leading with what feels right for you, okay? Because it's your body, it's your mind, it's your spirit, and your path, okay? So don't let any other person or any group of people or anything outside of you sway your judgment for yourself, okay? And the way in which you are meant to decide for yourself on what you want in your life, okay? So keep that in mind. That's a very big one for this week as well. All right, everybody, how are you all feeling? Let's go ahead and get into the full moon in Libra. This is an energy for tonight. Our full moon in Libra is tonight. I think it's around 6:28 p.m. Eastern time. So about 5 something Central, and then you can do the rest, you guys. I'm not going to go through every time zone, but it is this evening. And the full moon in Libra, this energy is all about release, because it is a full moon. We do want to release limitations, like I said, and old patterning that is keeping us from being renewed and rebirthed into this new year. But we also want to recognize that Libra is an air sign, and air signs are really good at communication. They're also really good at intuition and spiritual growth. And they're awesome at connecting and compromising and observing things, okay? So we also want to notice how we are in those areas in our life this week. and to use that awareness to make the changes necessary to become even better in those areas. Now, like I said, we do want to lead with love with this week, and it's also because the full moon in Libra has a lot of love energy. It is connected to the planet Venus. Venus rules the sign of Libra, so we are focusing even more on pleasure, beauty, art, romance with this moon. And we are going to have a lot of epiphanies in those areas. We're going to have a lot of those aha moments where we're recognizing new things and new awareness and new wisdom on love, beauty, art, and pleasure. Okay. Now, old issues tend to also surface during full moons, especially for the purpose of releasing them. And we are going to see old issues that are close to our heart based in relationships or connections to love, self-love, or love of others. We're going to see these old issues surface for the purpose of cleansing and healing so that we can balance them out and move on. All right. Now, the moon is also opposite of Venus and Chiron. Chiron is the warrior, the healed warrior, the wounded warrior. This is the energy of healing through your wounds and really finding ways to overcome those things. And so this is going to be particularly important to notice for the love department with that Venus connection, okay? And Venus and Chiron are in Aries, so that also adds an additional fiery energy to it, where there's a lot of passion and kind of just energy behind it, like fiery energy behind that kind of healing path in love, okay? Now, it's important to use compromise and compassion to heal through any conflict in love, or also any realizations from old love relationships or any relationships that are close to your heart. This can also be platonic love or familial love. So just notice that if you use compromise and compassion and you view it from that perspective, it will be a lot easier to heal those things. Now, another message with this Libra full moon is that it is an 8-degree moon. It's 8 degrees in Libra, and this is an energy of leadership. So like I said, we do want to have a little bit of that leadership involved, leading with love, okay, with that Venus ruling Libra energy. And so anytime you feel confused or stuck or just not sure of yourself or not sure what to do, lead with the most loving vibration and the most loving perspective and use that to make your decisions, okay? Because we are going to be noticing that we are pressured to make decisions this week because Libra is a decision maker. It is the judgment sign, and it really, really wants to make the right choices. So you may feel the pressure of making sure you make the right choice, and it may be even harder to make the choice because of that pressure. So when you're confused or when you need a little guidance, lead with love, okay? Now, it's super important also to not do things on your own, okay? Not do everything on your own this moon, because you may be somebody that tends to try to do it all by yourself. I am definitely guilty of this, but I think that the biggest thing to notice for you is, if you are one of those people, is that when you ask for help, it can be one of the most beneficial and successful things, because it can lead you to completion of what you're trying to do, but also new awareness and new realization that you wouldn't even have had if you would have tried to do it all on your own. Okay, so this is a very collaborative energy. It's important to create with others. It's important to collaborate. It's important to work as a team. It's important to also receive help when help is needed and ask for help when help is needed. Okay, don't be afraid to ask for help. This is going to be a really powerful energy, and you may even notice that certain things happen this week that inspire you or motivate you or try to put you into a corner and to make you ask for help so that you can start to practice that. Because a lot of us are stubborn on asking for help, so we have to be pushed into the back, pushed into a corner in order to be motivated to ask for help. So if that's you, then you may notice that, okay? And yeah, this is also an energy of discernment and awareness. Okay, so like I said, making conscious decisions and making sure that you're getting real with what it is that you really want and what it is that you're really experiencing, and don't sugarcoat things, just to make it comfortable. Push yourself out of your comfort zone and really acknowledge what is the situation that you're confused on. Why are you confused? And how are you not seeing it for all that it is that's keeping you in that confused place? Okay. Make your decisions and be real with yourself and lead with love as well in those decisions. Be gentle with yourself, but also don't sugarcoat things. Okay. Don't sugarcoat things that you need to, face that will help you make the right decision. All right. How's everybody feeling? Everybody good? PJ's a Libra. Awesome. Yes. And if you're a Libra, you're definitely feeling good. Libras are really, really, so good in their sign, as most are. But Libras tend to be really extreme and then really neutral or really balanced. So they kind of go back and forth between balanced and extreme. So we're also going to feel that this week. We may feel really good one day and then all over the place the next, and then really good the next day and all over the place the next day. And then we may find a little balance. That's what Libra does. It goes one side to the next side, to one side to the next side, and then eventually it kind of balances out. Okay. All right, everyone. And also cleansing is important right now. We're in the energy of spring cleaning with the spring equinox last week. So cleaning your space, cleaning your body, doing cleanses, cleaning up energy in relationships, cleaning up confusion through communication with people that you're connected to, cleaning up, files and organization in your business. So do that stuff, because that's also going to be a great energy to tap into with this full moon, since it's a release moon. Okay. A couple of other astrological influences real quick. Mercury is in Pisces and conjuncts Neptune in Pisces on the 29th, which is tomorrow. So this is going to help us with more peaceful communication and creativity. Then we have Venus in Aries, sextile Saturn in Aquarius, which is going to give us more passion energy. And it's also going to teach us some lessons and give us some more aha moments in our loving relationships. And then the sun is in Aries and sextile Saturn in Aquarius on the 31st. And this is energy of highlighting action that will get us to move forward and to really teach us the lessons we need to learn in order to motivate change in our action. So this is things like, knowing that you're always running late to work and starting to put into action that you're going to wake up sooner in order to not be late. Okay. So these are positive actions for positive change. All right. So that's all I have for you. Spirit messages and astrology. We covered the whole week and we talked about the full moon in Libra. How are you all feeling? Let's go ahead and pull a few cards to end it out today. I also want to mention, for those of you who are interested and have been interested in my coaching program and course, I am ending the enrolling period in the next week or two. So there's only a little bit of time left, really only about a week left, realistically, to sign up for a free consultation and talk to me about the coaching program, because this coaching program is going to go from April to September. That is the term that I am enrolling for. And so I'm cutting off enrollment very, very soon. So make sure to use the link down below to schedule a free consultation for coaching if you're ready to invest in yourself big time for your spiritual development and evolution. Like I said, intuition is our innate survival skill, and if we don't develop it, it can definitely cause a lot of confusion and a lot of limitation to our capacity to really be free in our creativity and in our manifestation power and on our soul purpose. And so, if you've been feeling really kind of locked down or stuck and separate from your passion, separate from your purpose, separate from your sense of worth or sense of connection to spirit, then check out this course, because I guarantee you are going to learn so much and grow so much. I mean, this course and program has literally changed lives. The lives of my graduates in 2020 have been changed drastically since they decided to say yes to themselves and invest in their spiritual journey. So definitely don't cheat yourself. Don't cut yourself short. If this is something you're interested in, at least schedule that call to hear more about it so that you can hopefully join for the term of 2021, because I won't be doing another coaching term probably until 2022. So this is a very important time to get in where you can fit in. All right. All right, loves, let's go ahead and talk all about these cards. The first card for the beginning of our week is Find Your Center. I was literally just talking about this. This is what the course and program does. It helps you find your center and stay there. And that is valuable, so valuable, okay? So if you need to find your center, okay? If you're feeling off balance, if you're feeling just not yourself, this Libra energy of the Libra full moon is going to help you find your balance, and it's going to highlight things that jump out at you that you need in your life that will help you find that balance as well. So trust your intuition. The card itself says your outside world is a reflection and manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? Okay. And this is what we're seeing, you know, all the violence, all the chaos, all the extreme spectrums of energy that we're seeing in humanity expressing itself right now in the world is an exact correlation to what we've been experiencing emotionally, what we've been holding in as a human race for so long, and what we've witnessed and experienced as a collective over eons of time. And all of that is coming to the surface to be cleared, healed, and rebalanced. So find your center through it all, okay? Middle of the week card is the key to intimacy. The key to intimacy. This is an energy that's really calling us to become more connected and deeply connected to ourselves and deeply connected to each other. To start to lead with love in the ways that we are meant to, that help us to understand each other on a more intimate level, and that don't hold us separate from each other, but instead start to bring us more together. Such a beautiful card. It says intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not, okay? And so, you know, the energy of separatism, the energy of attack, the energy of mistrust, the energy of abuse, oftentimes we see those things in relationships before we actually find the relationship that we are meant to be in that is healthy and beautiful. We often have to see what is not that in order to recognize what is. And so that is the key to intimacy. And we are noticing that anything that we have not been able to find connection with within ourselves, we need to start to realize is a key to understanding how we can find connection to ourselves, okay? So beautiful. And then the last card, the end of the week card, is the Beloved card. And this is the energy of our activation of our self-love, our activation of our self-appreciation, our activation of all that we know we are meant to be, and really falling deeply in love and in deep reverence with it. And so we are the beloved. We are this energy of just sovereign being, spiritual leader, light bearer. We are that. And the more we can step into that role and express from that place, the more that we are healing and saving the world. So beautiful. I want to pull one card for the Libra full moon just to end us out. Even though we did that 10 of air card last week, I want to make sure we're thorough. Ooh, Libra full moon bringing in abundance, which makes so much sense. I did not mention that with the spring equinox last week and this full moon now this week, we can also expect to reap some benefits of some seeds we have sown that are finally sprouting through the surface and showing up in our lives. So beautiful abundance for the Libra full moon. I love it. All right. Oh, Lindsay, I love your comment. Coaching has absolutely changed my life in ways that I hoped and even ways I didn't expect. Happy and grateful daily to be put on each other's paths. Oh, same to you, love. Yes. And thank you for, you know, that support and love and that share of how coaching has really shifted your life experience. And I hope that whoever needs to hear this will also take that as a sign to to sign up before it's too late for this next term of coaching. So it's going to be super powerful. Oh my gosh, I can feel it. All right, loves, it was super good to chat and connect. Again, real quick, find your center in the beginning of the week. Recognize the keys to intimacy in the middle of the week. Notice that you are the beloved at the end of the week, and expect some powerful abundance for tonight's full moon in Libra. I will be going live on my Instagram at Readings by Rissa with my love Chad at around 7:17 p.m. Central Time tonight to have a conscious conversation about our own experiences with the full moon in Libra, and also to talk to you about your own and answer any questions. So make sure to join me there. Also, if you love these readings, you can always donate via the super chat option right here by watching live. Or if you're watching it on the replay and you want to donate, there are links to donate in the description of this video. You can also head on over to my OnlyFans and you can send me a tip on any of the posts on there, because I am also posting really fun little mini reading Mondays every Monday night on OnlyFans, just to recover some of the main highlights of the readings in a very shortened version, really nice and direct, and usually pull another card just to add for more specifics now that we're in that energy. So you guys can expect that from me tomorrow night on OnlyFans. So if you want to join my OnlyFans, the link is in the description as well. And I'm also posting all my Starseed Saturday meditations and readings on there as well. So I just posted a new one yesterday that you all can go check out. It's all the way free. So enjoy. And if you want to send a little energy exchange, you can do so via tip on OnlyFans. All right. Love you all so much. It was so good to see you, and I will see you next Sunday for a brand new weekly reading. Peace.